Hey everybody, this is Destroyer24 back with another Wizard101 walkthrough episode. Where we left off last time, we talked to Sergeant Major Talbot after getting the location for the Order of the Fang in the Crocosphinx. We're going to go ahead and go over there. I'm going to go ahead and say that since this is an all-ice area, ice wizards will especially struggle. Fire wizards will tend to struggle as well due to their tendency to cast Fireblade. Fire Elf will be able to be... You can use Fire Elf in order to get around that quite easily. But without further ado, we will go ahead and get straight into it. Where we last left off, we have to take the... ship over here, over to the Crocosphinx, which is up over here. So let's go ahead and get going on that. The first time I'm going to go ahead and just let the whole thing ride out. That way you guys that haven't had the opportunity will get the opportunity to see it. Sorry, I had to readjust my mic for a second. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hit X. And you will be treated to this lovely little animation that you don't see anymore. Yeah, you don't get this animation anymore in later worlds for traveling things. This was basically exclusive just to the first arc. Ship docks, we're here. A couple of things about this area. Niles here will allow you to train the spirit and elemental traps and blades. I would train the elemental trap when you hit level 15. It gives you a little extra damage, especially with the fact that once you get into the next world, the bosses start to get a lot harder. Whenever you hit level 25, go ahead and train Elemental Blade, because this is going to be your secondary blade until about Azteca. Balance Wizards, there is also going to be a secret here. But that will show up in the balance walkthrough once we start it.
Greetings. Welcome, stranger. I am Professor Alazred. If you seek the Order of the Fang, you have found it. What brings you here?
You tell Professor Alhazred about your search for Malastare.
I have seen no Malastare, but I know why he sought us. Long ago we wrote the Croconomicon. With the power of life and death, it could spell disaster in the wrong hands. Before I say more, you must earn the Order's trust. Please go to the Crocosphinx, seek out Shalak the Wise, and heed his words.
Oh goody, I get to go do a whole bunch of side stuff, even though we're pretty much on a really big time crunch here. But I digress. Just makes me stronger and makes me able to beat Malastare easier.
Greetings, wizard. So, the professor wants to test you. We are the ones being tested. We put the Tuts to sleep, but now our work is undone. They will try to enslave everyone. We must reunite the Order of the Fang. We have strong allies in the Manders, but they are struggling. Earn our trust by helping us.
Okay.
While Alhazred and I remained awake during the Great Sleep, Other members of the Order of the Fang did not. If you are sincerely here to help, now is the time to seek them out. When I last saw General Kaba, our esteemed military leader was holding back the Tuts so we could cast the sleep. I only hope he has not suffered for his bravery. Go find the Mander Rami in the Hall of Champions. Rami can help you find Kaba.
Alrighty. Let's head down here. These hall servants are more powerful versions of the Manders in the Temple of Fire. They have a little more health, but since they're ice, it kind of balances out because ice does not hit as hard as fire does. Also, if you want a housing item, you do occasionally find these around the worlds. If you want a housing item, you can pick up this tall pumpkin. You can also pick it up for the extra gold if you so please.
I hope you've come to help, young wizard, because this place is swimming with Tuts. You are not the only one looking for General Kaba. The Tuts are looking for the Order of the Fang, and I fear we may be detected. We must slow them down before they find the General. Surely a powerful wizard like yourself can take out their minion, the Sphinx Sakwi.
That's not ridiculous. We'll just go ahead and go over here, away from the other people, because the other people are way too ahead of level. People who don't really want to do this on their own, because that thaumaturge there is way over leveled. Like I said, these guys aren't difficult. Just blade and fire off. If you're lucky enough to be able to get off a sunbird without them shielding, then by all means go for it. Just makes it easier. But but the best play to go here is going to be a blade and a sunbird. Link is also viable here due to their natural damage boost. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, they do love to fire shield, so not much we could do about that one. But we did get the blade. We can fire off in 2 turns. We're going to go ahead and cast a sunbird to get rid of the second one. Then we're going to go ahead and use our blade. Now we're just going to go ahead and use our fire elf to take that shield off, and the damage over time will kill on its own. Because that's the thing you have to realize about shields. Shields only protect from the initial hit. Other forms of protection, such as absorb, fortify, brace, those protect from the damage over time as well. Absorb, obviously, if you have sufficient protection left on the shield, because absorb is a flat damage reduction of 500. So that was the first fight. I will be back when I am done with the second. Alrighty, I'm back. If you didn't see that last fight, it was absolutely ridiculous. Because I had there was this one guy that received like 4 or 5 shields in one fight. So yeah, like I said, the spam on the shields gets ridiculous.
So, General Kaba is safe for now. So far, you are as great and powerful a wizard as the Order of the Fang believes you to be. General Kaba will speak only to someone carrying the seal of the Fang. To our horror, that evil Tut Neckbet captured it before the Great Sleep. We must get it before he tricks the General into revealing himself. We shall see if you can defeat Neckbet in his chamber.
Alrighty. So it looks like this is going to be our first boss of this area. Not too terrible. For some reason, health wisps are ridiculously hard to get in this particular part of the Crocosphinx. Health seems to be scarce in the Crocosphinx in general. It's very, very odd. Either way, Neckbet's gonna be over here. So, I'm gonna have to, wait for just a second, because it looks like there are some other people who are trying to do this, and like I said, I am trying to do this whole thing solo, so I'd prefer not to have anybody else join me, unless I absolutely need them to.
Kiss that confidence goodbye as you see how little you are.
I'd very much not like to do that. Alrighty, what else have we got here? I guess we'll go ahead and get straight into it. There's not really any delaying it. This guy's not terrible, however, he is the first person you meet that knows how to use Tower Shield. Tower Shield is an incredibly annoying spell, especially at this level, because it is a -50 universal shield, and it stacks with the Fire Shield that you've already seen the Sakui Protectors cast. Meaning that this can be a very difficult fight if they decide to shield at the correct times, or just spam shields on each other. Got a whole bunch of links. I didn't get the fire elf I wanted. It's unfortunate. Alright, well, let's go ahead and see if I can kill... Let's see if I can go ahead and kill the boss before they decide to shield. Awesome. Now, what we need to do is we need to take out this Sakui Protector. This isn't gonna be very difficult. It's just finishing off the fight. What's really interesting is for an ice mob, they tend to use myth spells a lot. So, I don't know. We'll go ahead and cast Fire Elf here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and use a Fire Cat just to See if we can get a little more damage on him. Also, he does respawn if you kill him first, so make sure to get out of the way unless you want to get pulled and have to fight him again on low health. Let's go ahead and get back to Rami. I'll be back whenever I get there. Alrighty, I am back.
You have the seal! I am sorry I doubted you, but I never thought I'd see someone more powerful than the Tuts. I must stay here and keep my ears open, but you have restored my faith that the Tuts can be defeated. Thank you, friend. Go, quickly! General Kaba is hiding in the treasure room up ahead!
These quests aren't going to give you anything useful except for the spell elements. They're basically just the bare bones, run-of-the-mill, useless. They're basically just the bare bones, run-of-the-mill, useless kind of gear. This is where General Kaba is. He is right next to a teleporter, but it is worth leaving a mark every single quest that you do because he has you run all over the place.
You bear the seal of the Fang. Tell me, wizard, what events occurred during my great slumber?
You tell General Kaba about the Tut's desire to rule over many worlds.
If only we had succeeded in crushing the Tuts earlier. I confess, wizard, a soul scavenger sapped my strength by stealing my coin of destiny. I tried to protect the Order of the Fang without it, but to my dismay, I couldn't, and we failed.
I know this is a magical world and all, but if you're supposed to be a warrior, not a magic person, you really shouldn't have a trinket like that be your weakness.
If we are to defeat the Tuts this time, I'll need my coin of destiny. Please help me recover my strength by destroying that soul scavenger nearby.
Okay, so in other words, you're just gonna go make me get that coin anyway. Both of these are not not important. This guy just tells you about housing. I can never figure out what Eloise wanted to talk to you about. And yeah, this is one of the ones where I'd recommend setting a mark. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. But before I continue on with the quest, I'm actually gonna go ahead and get my gear upgraded, and because we've still got a long way to go through this. We've still got a long way to go through this section of the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gear upgraded, make our lives a little easier. And I will be back with you once I get all my gear upgraded. Alrighty, I am back. So I got as many of the pieces of gear as I could in order to make us as best we can, make us a lot better. One thing you will notice that is actually different than our current setup is that we do not have flat damage anymore. From this point on, you do not get flat damage from gear. You have to get the flat damage from jewels that you affix. I don't think... I don't think that we've got... I don't think we've got any that I can show. Both of these are pet jewels, so we're not going to be able to fix those for quite a while. But now we're doing regular damage. which is a percentage-based. Percentage-based is better than the flat damage because instead of just adding on that extra damage after all other calculations have been done, this actually helps out a lot more because the higher you take your damage, the more damage you will do. So, just by us going and doing the... just by us going and having 5 damage, add that on to the 35 blade and the initial 100 damage from the Fire Elf, you're looking at a much higher damage ratio, especially when you start thinking about the Sunbird. I'm gonna have to go ahead and rearrange my deck again, because I ended up swapping over to the Mummified deck, which we got a couple episodes back. But other than that, our deck is pretty much the same. But the pieces of gear I got are the Mask of Humidity, the Summertime Robes, and the Slippers of Burning Sands. At level 20, we start getting gear that's a bit more upgraded. So that'll be nice once we finally get up to that point, but we're unfortunately not at that point yet. But other than that, we'll just go ahead and get on with this Soul Scavenger.
I will feed on the light in your eyes.
I've got a lot of fire in my eyes. I've got some to spare. But this guy is obviously death, so he doesn't have the natural damage boost that the other guys do. However, his Sockweed Crusher is basically the same as the Fire Elementals in the Palace of Fire. He's just ice instead of fire. Instead of balance. But I will go ahead and say that the Crocosphinx is the longest area of this world. The next area is going to be probably the shortest, but this is the longest area of this world just due to the fact of how many quests and fights it forces you to go through. So, unfortunately, there is not really much we can do about that. I can tell this extra 93 health or whatever is going to really help us out. Because that was already one extra hit that we got, basically for free. Let us go ahead and fire off that Sockweed Crusher. The faster we get him out of the way, the more likely he's not going to be doing annoying things like that. But yeah, as you can see, we already did way more damage than what we initially did. Excuse me, had to sneeze. But we already did way more damage than we initially did. We're gonna go ahead and Fire Cat off that shield. And on the bright side, it looks like we're also gonna be taking off a weakness. But yeah, as you can see, we're already doing way more damage. Against the Sockweed Protectors outside, we were only doing like 107. But now we're doing, oh come on. But now we're doing like 118 per tick. I'll go ahead and calculate off the initial hit. which we had 142 health left on him. If we do 310 minus 142, we did a initial damage hit of 168 instead of... We did a initial damage hit of 168 instead of 137. So, like I said, percentage damage is going to be way better than flat damage. Let's go ahead and blade here. Now, we're just gonna wait for the pips for a sunbird. Like all bosses, this guy does have an uncapped natural. That ice bow was most likely his natural attack. All of the ghosts have a ice natural. And like most bosses, their natural attack is very easily the most powerful spell in their arsenal. So he's got 3 pips. He could easily kill me if he wanted to. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and heartbeat, because he's going to natural attack us. And oh, not a natural attack. Apparently he knows Snowman, so less damage, but it's still gonna hurt, especially since it hit maximum. That's fine, we heal it all off anyway. Alrighty. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to use Firecat, hope it hits high end. It's low end. Oh, it actually hit middle, so... At this point, even if he ghouls, he is not going to be surviving. He is not going to be surviving a Thunder Snake if we cast. Which he did ghoul. Actually, he can survive a Thunder Snake if he hits low end. If we hit low end. I probably should have used Link instead of Thunder Snake, if I'm being quite honest. Yeah, it hit low end. So, that's annoying. But it's alright, because he can't kill us before we can kill him. Alrighty. Pendant of the Icy Soul. I don't think I've seen this before. Oh, it gives ice traps. Never mind. I have seen that before. I've used it a very, very long time ago. Back when amulets were still needed, up until back when amulets were still a needed thing up until level 50.
With this coin in my possession, I can feel my strength returning. We must prepare for battle. I hope I will not fail, but first, I need my sword. I gave it to Rami for safekeeping. Go to him and get it for me.
Go ahead and mark our location again. Like I said, if you ever run out of mana, you've already got a mark back. So, just go ahead and, if you run out of mana, just go ahead and port to the commons, collect mana wisps. Or if you really... But we've got a potion left over, so we can use that potion. If you run out of potions, you can refill them free by playing mini-games in any of the main safe areas.
Honored one, I am afraid that all I have left of the sword is this. Please take it to the great general if he needs it.
What? This is just a scabbard. How can I fight the Tuts with just a scabbard?
If you try hard enough.
We must rebuild my weapon then. First, For the blade, I will need ice shards from the Glacial Avengers. Ice shards should do the trick. You should be able to find them in this area.
Alrighty. As I get the gold, I will upgrade my, as I get the gold, I will upgrade my Athame and my, I will upgrade my Athame, and I will upgrade the, what's it called? I will upgrade the Athame and my ring, so we'll get to that. These Glacial Avengers, they're, to be quite honest, they're not very special. They're essentially just the crocodilians that you face in, they're just the crocodilians that you face in the Palace of Fire, except they're ice. So, I'll go ahead and meet you back whenever I beat them. Alrighty, I am back.
These will do nicely. Well done. All right. Now I need some spider carapace to form the hilt. Ice Weaver shells should be perfect for it. Win 4 of them for me in the Grand Arena.
Alrighty, this is a real kicker if you're, like me and you pay for all the areas. I got stuck here for a long time when I was playing this, and my mom was funding all my worlds on a different account because she was very busy at the time. She wasn't able to fund, and she wasn't able to get the time to fund my movement to this next area, the Grand Arena, so I was stuck here for a long time. I did all of the side quests, and I had run multiple different wizards all the way up to that point, but I finally was able to move on past it. We're gonna go ahead and leave a mark here. The Grand Arena is in a completely different area, so basically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take the teleporter back to the entrance, go out the entrance, go right past Shalak here into this great big doorway, and then you're in the Grand Arena. These guys are literally just the Glacial Avengers. They've got the same amount of health, they've got the same spells. The only difference is that we have to fight 2 of them. We have to fight 2 of these fights instead of 1. So I will be back whenever these fights are over. Alrighty, back once again.
Yes, these will do. Good work. The hilt needs gems to magnify the blade's power, for it is the blade of a general. I will need you to collect these gems in the area.
Looks like we're gonna get another spell.
Coming along nicely in the fire arts? Good. I have a new spell for you.
Alright, this one is just a... Alrighty, this one's literally just to pick it up. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Alrighty, I'm back. That spell was just Fire Trap, which and if you're like me, are never gonna use unless you're like me, if you're like me, man, I cannot words. If you are like me, then you will never use unless you're going for the 1 in a million badge, which we will do at some point later on down the line. But the gemstones that he's wanting you to collect are these little piles sitting on the floor. They are sitting out in the middle of the road where all the enemies are, so do be cautious whenever you're going to get them. Usually there are 2 back in this area, back where the Soul Scavenger is, and there are far more up on the other side of the what they call the fountain here. So we just picked up those two. This is a reagent that's specific to Crocotopia at this point. So pick it up because you do need it in the Crocotopian crafting. There are also some other gem piles over on this side. This one is out of the way, so if you're patient enough to do the realm changing trick, then you can do it that way. And our fourth one is going to be right here. Let's go ahead and go back and talk to the general.
Yes, yes, these will be good. They'll fit in perfectly. Now, I require something to wrap around the hilt for a good grip. The hall servant should have some leather straps. Those should do well.
Alrighty. Hall servants, teleporter hub, ta-da! Like I said, these are basically just basic enemies. There's not really much to them. 235 health, not really strong spells, so I'll go ahead and get this done, and I'll be back with you in just a moment's notice. Alrighty, back once again.
Excellent. These leather straps will go well with it. Now, to forge the blade. Aji Sakwi guards the frozen forge. We will need a key to unlock the entrance to his lair. Defeat his guards, the Sakwi Crushers. One of them must have a key.
Alrighty, more Sakwi Crushers. I know there's a lot of cuts in this episode, but if I didn't cut this episode and left it uncut, this episode would be well over. This episode would be far and well over an hour long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys beat, and I will be back with you once again. Alrighty, I'm back. I forgot to do the dialogue for this, but basically all he's saying is, "Good job! We're nearly there."
You have proven to be a most valiant warrior. I will send some loyal troops through these passageways. Would you perform the boldest part of the plan? Defeat Aji Sakwi and use the frozen forge to create my new blade.
Alrighty. Aji Sakwi is going to be a standard run-of-the-mill boss. Standard run-of-the-mill Frost. Yeah. Annoying as ever, because, you know, tower shields and, because, you know, tower shields and fire shields, but, I have confidence that we can do it. So, let's go ahead and do it.
You will not evade me, wizard. Prepare to meet your doom.
Yeah. Aji Sakwi used to look like what he did in the photo, but they decided to change it. I don't know why they haven't changed the model of his face to this, but there's not much we can... But there's not much that KI is really going to do about that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into it. Minion first, because Minion is annoying. Well, we got to go first. He has 570 health, which is quite a bit, especially for this level. But it shouldn't be absolutely ridiculous, because, I mean, we have done 600 damage in one spell before. And that was before we upgraded our gear. So, if we get the pips, if we get the pips and he doesn't fire shield or tower shield or weakness, we're just going to go ahead and sunbird and get him out of the way. Or his minion fire shielding, for that matter. His minion fire shielded himself, so... That's alright. We are going to go ahead and grab our Sunbird. Boop. And yeet us, delete us. And got the May cast smokescreen off of it. Good luck casting anything now, Sockwe Crusher. See, it's nice when things go your way every once in a while. And I could say to life, in general, things aren't always going to go your way. So, just the only way to get past them, is just persevere. It's just persevere. Stick to it, because I find doing this is a lot easier if you have a goal in mind. For instance, my goal per episode is to get to the end of the area that we're at. So, say for this one, I want to get to the end of the hall. I want to get to the end of this area, the Hall of Champions. A few episodes down the line, I may want to get to the end. I may want to just get to the end of the final dungeon in Crocotopia. As long as you set yourself goals, it's a lot easier to do things. What do we get? Pharaoh's deck. Literally the one I already sold. Bunch of treasure cards we can sell. And a few spell ones. Alrighty, back to General Kaba.
Excellent work, Wizard. You made my plan a success. With you on our side, we are certain not to fail. I must stay and rally our forces. Your help will not be forgotten, Wizard. You have done much to earn the trust of the Order of the Fang. Go tell Shalak the Wise in the entrance hall that I am once again ready to lead our fight.
So yeah, that's the end of this area. Just to give you an idea, I started recording at like 8 o'clock, and now it's like 9:20. So the actual length of the episode that's gonna go up is gonna be about 45 minutes. If it had not, it would have been closer to about an hour and a half. So that's the reason why I cut out so much.
Excellent! You found the great General Kaba and returned him to the fold. Perhaps the sleep has no ill effect on any of the Order. We may very well defeat the Tuts for good this time. With General Kaba, the Order can plan strategy. But without our fearless warrior, Kai Amate the Great, who are we? I'm concerned that our Mander ally, Akko, has not yet found Kai Amate. Please go to the Grand Arena and help Akko. Kai Amate's ferocity in battle stirs the fight in all of us. He must be found.
Alrighty. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode right here. We will pick up in the Grand Arena next time, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!